Hello ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, my name is Brad. This is my channel Animal Orange, where I build a lot of 3D metal models and show you how I do it. Today on the table, again, from Metal Earth Legends, we have Captain America. And this will be my last of the original Legends models. Almost there. This is probably an older style, so as you're following this build, if you find yours comes together differently, you may have the newer redesigned style that's more along the lines of the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is like the second set they come out with a slightly new build design. If that's the case, check out one of those videos to see how those come together. It will help you probably with assembling your models if you have the newer style. If you have the older style, let's open this up, put this together, and see what it's all about. Let's open up Captain America. Wonder how many sheets this guy's going to have since he has a shield. He may have two. We've got one solitary sheet. Alright, it all fits on one. Probably because he only has a shield and not other implements and pieces of capes and arms and such, or things on his head. And the sheet of instructions. Open this up real quick. Blank on the back. I will go over these fairly quickly for those who have not built a Metal Earth model before. If you have, you pretty much know how this goes. Fold this sheet in half to fit it on screen. At the very top you've got, or at the beginning, the top of what is labeled as page 1, it's actually just the top quarter, you have a line drawing of the model and the sheet. And the sheet has got the numbers on it so you can easily find the parts. I'll try to orient this the same. So you can, if you're looking for part 1, here it is, it points to that, it's that right there. Pretty simple. You've got below that a sample part, which is, I believe, the back of his head, with the notation on fold lines, insertion tabs, and insertion holes. Tabs go into holes, usually not on the same part, but sometimes. And fold lines are just pre-scored areas where you can bend and fold the part more easily. Got the legend over here. If you see a blue circle next to a connection point saying to insert and fold the tab over, green triangles, insert and twist the tab. Then down here, you have a QR code that you can scan with your phone or just type in this website to go to a 360 view of the model to see a completed model for reference sake. And below that you have the start of the assembly flow chart starting with part 1, and this red here, an arrow, is showing that you fold this long section over, and then you fold this part up, and then you connect that tab and this tab, and you end up with this. And that's essentially how it goes. Then you jump up here to page 2 and continue folding. You fold that area and connect that tab and end up with that. Fold this area and connect that tab, and then you add in this piece right here, which is part 2, and there you go, you end up with that. And that's the gist of it. You continue to follow the arrows going down, shaping, folding, and assembling the parts. And once you get to the middle, because I have this folded in half, you jump to page 3 and continue on, and then over here to page 4, continue on, and once you get to the bottom, you are finished with your model. And notice there are a few tips here that I'll cover as I get to them, helping you to get this model together, and I'll comment on those when I get to them. But first, a quick bit about tools. It doesn't usually take a lot of tools to put these models together, and I have my basic set here, which includes the precision tweezer set that I have, and we've got a very fine point tip. This was also a fine point tip, but I've ground it down a little, which makes it more useful for grabbing tabs, and just the flat pliers. I also have a basic set, which this is one that came with an Iconics kit. They can be very useful. I've got my long nose and flat nose pliers, which really probably won't even use, but maybe for folding over some larger areas. And then off screen, unfortunately, I forgot to put this on screen, I have clippers to easily clip the parts off the sheets so as not to make a mess. And then it will help to have some sort of dowel rod or drill bit or pin to shape the shoulder areas, because those usually have a curve on it. And that should be all that you need to build this model. So we've got our tools together, we've got our sheet, metal sheet, and instructions. Let's put this together.
The arms are fairly straightforward on this Legends model. The angle of the legs can be a bit confusing. Getting the right angle is not important at first here. You can make adjustments as you assemble more sections later. As usual, I am twisting the tabs holding the sides of the legs on. It's flimsy and tricky to fold the tabs over, and if something slips, I can do a lot of damage to the model, so I twist the tabs to get started. After the model is together, I will come back, untwist, and fold these tabs over for a neater look. I forgot to fold in the triangular part of the leg. I don't like to bend the top part all the way to 90 degrees. It helps to leave it open a little when attaching it to the back side. I find that I always have to flex the sides out a little to get the back of the piece of the head on. Now to join the front and back halves together, starting at the chest, secure the top half, and then work down the hips and legs, taking it one tab at a time. Now to untwist and fold over those early tabs.
He's done, and I've done it. I've finally done it. I've finally built the last Legends model. And I've just recently put a post on Instagram saying that there's probably going to be more Legends models released very soon since I've finished my collection. Captain America is done. Captain America is not a difficult model. Captain America took 27 minutes to put together, so right at a half hour, which is about normal for an older style Legends model, which Captain America is. Now I say older style because they came out with a newer version shortly after releasing Captain America. When they came out with the Guardians of the Galaxy models, they redesigned the body a little bit and the legs come together different. I like the new design. I think it works better and a little easier to do. But I got one of the Captain America models before that redesign because they went back and redesigned the older Legends models into that new style and released those. So there's still the older style still out there in the wild, depending on where you get it from, and there's a newer style. So if you watch this video and go, mine's not coming together that way, you might want to check out one of the Guardians of the Galaxy model builds that I've done that has the newer style to give you an idea of how to put those together. And then maybe come back here to see how to do the head and shield and arms possibly. Not exactly sure what's the difference other than the legs and body coming together a little differently because I've yet to see one of the newer ones, but there's a heads up for you to kind of help you out if you have the newer one. The newer styles, so far I was able to put most of those together in 20 minutes. The older styles usually takes about 30 minutes, so there's a difference. It's a little bit more challenging, a little bit more complicated to put the legs together, but it's still not that bad. It's very intimidating. You don't know exactly how to shape those side pieces when you first start to do the legs, but as you assemble it, it starts to come together. You just take it one tab at a time and work your way across the part or across the connection until you get everything in. Takes a little longer, but it still comes together and the finished product looks pretty neat. And Captain America is one of the simpler models as far as he doesn't have a lot of accoutrements like Thor has the hammer and the earpieces and the cape. Captain America just has a shield. The shield's pretty simple. You fold it around and kind of frisbee it a little bit and attach it. So not a lot of added time for that. 27 minutes, pretty quick. And now I have a complete collection of the current Legends models, the Guardians models, the Avengers models, and the DC models. I have them all, so I imagine something new will be coming out very soon. I'll leave it at that. If you have any questions or comments, always leave them in the comments down below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. If you enjoy these videos, if you enjoy these build videos and find them helpful, consider becoming a Patreon supporter. A little bit goes a long way. You can find a link in the description down below or here in just a few seconds at the end of this video. Thank you for watching and keep on keeping on.